Hey folks, quick little video here. I'm dedicating this video to my little mate Zach and also to Archie. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of how you can get yourselves onto some fish down in the Maribyrnong. How I'd recommend you do it if you want to catch something. It's going to be small, but you'll catch something nevertheless. We've only got an hour before the sun goes down. Let's see how we go. Not that any place is better than others. I'm just moving away so not to draw attention to myself. Everyone does the right thing when catching the little ones. The first thing you guys are going to notice, see these little ripples and stuff along the water? Right, little fish in there. This particular area is rocky. We're not casting out far. This is all going to be very self-contained here. Right. The rod and reel, it doesn't matter what you use. I'm using the lightest, probably one of the lightest rods that I own, but you don't have to. If you can see the tip, mate, that's as noodle as they get. This is going to be the key to it all. Two things. Number one, really small hook. See that? Now these I believe are size 14s. Right? You're going to need the hook. If you can't find the size 14, go a 12. If you can't find a 12, go a 10. I probably wouldn't go any lower, any bigger than a 10. You might get away with an 8, but you're gonna miss them. So either go 10, 12, 14 is what I'd be recommending. Hook sizes. The line you're gonna use along here, your leader. What you're gonna do, doesn't matter, again, like I said, it doesn't matter what rod you're using. All right, it's just, and when you put your reels down, put your reels down this way, right? On the floor like that. Don't put them like this where you get sand and all this other crap in there, right? So, put our reel down like that, like I just explained. This is the other crucial bit. So, I've explained that size 14, preferably, size 12, next step up, and 10. I wouldn't go any bigger than a 10. This is where I keep my just leader material, spools of it. You're going to want, see that, 4 pound? 4 pound is roughly about 2 kilo. You want that. If you can find thinner, go thinner, but I wouldn't, 4 pounds fine, all right? You can go 6, it's just not very good. It's just, you're fishing very, very light. Bear that in mind, all right? We've spoken about hooks, we've spoken about line. You want yourself, look, a bit of stale bread. This particular one is brioche. It doesn't matter what you use. You can use breadcrumbs and turn that into dough. You can use worms as well. I've got worms here as well, but for argument's sake, this is what I find the easiest to use. And all you're gonna need is a bit of water. If you don't have water, you can either go dip your feet a little bit or spit. Put it in your mouth and spit it, all right? So, what you're gonna do here, I'll do it to just a bit. Actually, well, you know what, let's do it to this whole lot. All right, have a look, right? We're kneading this. I might have to put some more because I've put too much water. All right, we're gonna turn this into dough. Okay, just a bit more. All right, I'll show you, and I'll show you roughly what the consistency is once you've finished. So, you know, plasticine, Play-Doh, right? You're gonna end up with that kind of consistency when you're done. All right. See all the stickiness? It's coming off my hands while there's still some there. It's still, could probably go a little bit more. I'm just teasing that out just to get the, all right. Just knead that in. It'll be sticky, this is probably a little bit sticky, but it'll be fine, right? That's that. I'm looking for styrofoam. All right, you know what? I'm glad that I'm not finding styrofoam because it's an environmental disaster. What you're going to get instead is you're going to get a little twig, get something dry, something soft, right? And you're going to get yourself a knife. You get your parents to do this for you. So you're going to get a piece like that, right? You're going to put a notch up the top, and you're going to put a notch on the other side. Now you're going to test that this floats as well. Right. Theoretically it's the same thing, but watch. Okay, see that? I got the float that I'm going to be using here, which is much smaller, right? I've got the one that I'm using up here, which is much smaller than this, but that will still work. Watch, and I'll show you as I would put it in the water. Right, I'm going to show you that they both float. Fingers crossed, I'm not telling fibs. Right, see there? They're both floating. Right, that's what you're going to use as your float. Right. You're going to find, if you do find a piece of styrofoam on the floor, get it. The rest of it, put it in your bag or whatever, throw it in the bin later. Right, just take it with you. Us anglers have sometimes got to look after the environment better than some of the other bananas that are out here. Alright, so the other thing that I forgot to mention before, when you use that 4-pound leader, you're probably going to tie on a couple of meters. In my case, I've only got about a meter there, but I'm also using very thin line here. So just chuck on a couple of meters, tie it on using, you're going to learn a new knot called a double uni knot. I'll put the name up on screen, just Google it on how to tie that knot. I might show you how to do it in another video, right? And so you're not going to leave a lot of length. See, I've got a hook here, and that's my float right there, all right? You've got your dough now that you've just made. Mine is made out of brioche. You don't need to add anything extra. Now, you're going to be using very tiny little, that's probably about 1/3 of the size of a pea, maybe 1/4 of the size of a pea. And you're going to put it on just over the, see that? Just over the barb, right? You're going to do that. Leave your line, you almost just flick it out here, watch. Just watch the float. They already took it. You saw that. Now you're gonna have to be ready because they're gonna test you on your reflexes. But that's okay. Right. Just drop it in. Here we go. The reason that I don't always get caught is because they bite onto an edge of it where the hook isn't. You can't do anything about that. All you can do is just try and time where you place. All right, watching now. Here we go, it's under. Here we go. It's my third bait. I'll put this little guy, put the bait in my pocket. All right. Yeah. I want you guys to be really, really careful with these guys. I am using barbless hooks. These hooks here that I'm using are barbless. Look, that is the tiniest little bream. It's absolutely beautiful. Just be careful with them. Handle them with care. Take a photo if you want, but make sure you release them. All right? It's us fishermen that have got to look after the environment out here. We got to tell the other guys who would do the wrong thing that, hey, it's not on. All right, we should get another one here too. And they're quick, it'll be quick, all right? That'll go down, I can even see it. So like I said, this is how I pretty much learnt how to fish when I was younger. I learned how to do this for roach. The same technique can be applied for mullet, for garfish, for, in this case, we're using bream, or we're catching bream. All right, they already stole the bait. Oh, there we go. Oh, this one's even smaller. There we go. He fell in. That duck looked bloody keen. Like I said, I'm using barbless hooks, so tiniest little bit of bait. Right, and then the other one, I'm putting the big ball of dough in my pocket because I've been having to handle the fish. But that's all you need. Watch, that's already down. There we go. All right. Feisty little guys. Ah, he fell in the bush. All right, we'll get him out. All right, he's gone in the water. All right, if I had a small hand towel or something, then that would be a lot easier. But mate, you can come out here, I don't know, an hour, right, just enjoy it. You ready? There we go. The absolute most beautiful little fish. Oh, mate. Make sure he gets in the water. Don't have to go overboard with equipment. Like literally, I could be tying this to a tree branch and I'd still catch them. I've tried that and I have caught them. Now you've got to bear in mind that these little bream have never been caught before. When they're this size, they're very aggressive because they haven't been caught. The bigger ones are much smarter. Right, the bigger ones are much smarter. And they live for a really long time. So, I don't know what's the, off the top of my head, I don't know what the age is, but a fish that's like 40 centimeters is 40 centimeters. I don't know, it's probably like 20 years old. If while I'm editing this, I find out that that's actually not true and I'm telling fibs, I'll put it up on screen, right? But they grow for a very long time and they're clever, right? I used to be able to catch them consistently on soft plastics and hard body lures. I still can catch them, but they're definitely much harder to tempt. Like last year I caught one, granted I haven't been fishing much for them, and the other day I caught one on a hard body, which has been years since that's happened. All right, see, they're already on it. It's under, there we go. What a beautiful little fish. So be real gentle with them. You know, because those little fish may grow to be like 20 years old. You can also put a bit of cotton wool into the dough, and it'll make it harder for them to take it off the hook, because the fibers will catch and tangle with the hook. They'll find it much harder to get it off. There we go. Now, you won't catch them like this throughout the entire year, right? It's a limited window. This is kind of like now. As it gets into winter, they're going to be much harder to find, and they'll all school up, and who knows, for the life of me, I don't know where they go. I've never caught one in winter. I know that people do catch them. I'm just not that clever. From what I've heard, I think they go down deep and they school up for spawning. If you want to catch bigger ones, then obviously this is not the way to do it. Right, you're going to need to go much deeper with a bigger bait, and you know, I would be using, no sinker, I would be using a much bigger hook. Maybe I'll do that in another video. And probably, you know, whole prawn or half a prawn or shrimp on the line, unweighted. But I find that stuff very boring personally. I'm not much of a sit down and grab a beer and wait. That's not me. Feisty little guy. This is the other hand. Oh, is that fish not perfect? Is that just not the most perfect thing you've ever seen? Well, that's a nice way to end it. That's the biggest one so far. Oh yeah. All right, folks, that's by far the biggest one so far. You can get them like this. All right, they are there, but you're going to be fighting against most of the little ones. All right, I doubt that he's ever been caught too. All right, boys and girls, I hope you had fun watching that. That was a whole lot of fun bringing it to you. Love this sort of fishing. Love it, absolutely love it. I can't see up close with my glasses on. So, Zach, Archie, I hope that helps you out here, all right? You can use worms, you can use whatever, but go small size hooks. Your 14, your 12, your 10. Don't go too much long shank, it doesn't matter, but the smaller the hooks, the better. Like shank wise, you know, you've got the barb that goes around. Well, then the bit that goes up the shaft is the shank. Go the smallest shank that you can find, but long shanks will be fine as well, right? You're gonna go for 4-pound line. You can even go lighter if you want, but you're probably not gonna find that stuff easily in the shops. 4-pound is pretty standard. Below that is specialty type stuff. And you're also going to want to, you know, using the double uni knot, I'll put the name up on screen, you're going to tie, I don't know, a couple of meters to your line, and that's it. Just go unweighted, right? If you want to catch, go for something bigger, do the exact same setup, go slightly bigger hooks. I'll try and find an example, I might do another video, of roughly the size hooks. You're going to embed your hook completely, and your bait is going to be your weight, and you're just going to lob it out there, right? Not too far from where we were, like maybe another meter out, and you're just going to let that go. The little fish will start coming in to attack. That's like advertising. You know, when you go to the beach and you sit around having fish and chips and the seagulls come? Well, when the seagulls come, it's the same as the little fish. The little fish will come and start making all this noise. The bigger fish in the background will be watching, like, what's going on here? There's obviously food around. The little ones, or the seagulls, they don't make noise for no reason, right? So they're going to be a bit deeper and a little bit further back, right? It's just going to be a matter of you being able to go out there far enough and bypass the little ones in cases like this to get something bigger. But in this case, I'd caught enough little ones, and the little ones were obviously getting a free feed long enough that the slightly bigger ones, which that last one was, slightly, you know, still, that they had a bit of confidence to start competing with the little ones a little bit more, right? So anyway, hope you liked the video, and stay tuned. I'll do another one on how to bait up for some bigger fish, or mullet specifically, or something else. But if you want to get onto a fish, or if you're an adult and you got kids that you don't fish but your kids are into it, then you probably want to go down and follow this kind of method that you should be, I won't say guaranteed, because in fishing there is no such thing, but it's a pretty sure bet that if you follow this, super light line, small hooks, really small float, you know, whether it's a twig like I showed you how to put it on and stick it in the water, or a tiny bit of styrofoam. Don't bother going buying them and putting all of the sinkers and all that stuff from the shops. Don't bother, right? You're just going to complicate it. The biggest lesson that I ever had when I was younger was that for 2 years I didn't catch nothing, mate. Nothing. Went on an excursion with a teacher who fished in high school. First thing he did, he swapped out my line, I don't know, probably about the first 4 meters with some, I don't know if he put 6-pound or 4-pound, whatever, but super light, right? Within 5 minutes I had caught something. For years I could not grasp, I thought that the line was invisible down there. It's not, right? Learn that lesson, and mate, you won't have any troubles. Don't go for this big thick stuff. If you want to catch them, go lighter. If you lose them on the lighter, well, you had them on. If you go heavier on your line and thickness, chances are you're never even going to get a sniff, right? So that's my 2 cents. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned. I've got a handful of edits coming up that I've been working on for a while. I've been trying to improve the editing, so I haven't posted anything for a while, but stay tuned. Ciao.